Good morning, students. Today we'll start a new chapter that is company accounts. So, actually, we studied uh, partnership business, and last year we discussed what sole proprietorship business. So, how a sole trader keeps his books of accounts, and this year we studied how to start a partnership business. What are the rules applicable at the time of reconstitution of a partnership business, and partnership act, what are the rules of admission, retirement, death, and dissolution, how to close a partnership business. So all those things we solved, and the accounting treatments, everything completed now. Okay, so partnership part over. Now we are going to company type of business. So how companies maintain their books of accounts. So what are the difference between sole proprietorship or partnership and a company. So why to form a company, and what are the accounting treatments we have to do here, that we will study. So last year we studied actually the formation of a company, how to form a company. The chapter we studied the stages in the formation of a company, types of companies, public company, private company, and stages formation also we discussed. Okay, so all those things we studied. Now this year in accountancy we are going to study the accounting treatments. So company means the share or debenture. Companies are allowed to issue what shares or debentures. So first we'll discuss about some introduction part today. Okay, some general things, theory only, that we'll discuss today. So why company? So why to form a company? That is a question. So we can say, in order to overcome the limitations of sole proprietorship and partnership, we have to form a company. That is the main reason. So sole proprietorship, single owner business. So single owner only can invest money, and he is the sole owner of his business. He has to take all the risk. If he is not having any managerial ability, then he has to adjust with whatever efficiency he has, that is there. Then partnership actually covers some limitations of sole proprietorship. Even then some problems are there, just like what, limited capital. So if suppose 3-4 partners are there, only that 3-4 people only can invest money in the business. So limited capital, limited managerial ability. If management is not proper, or nobody is good in managing the business, then also it creates problem. Then unlimited liability, of course that is an issue. Unlimited liability means, if the business property, now we studied no winding up of the company. If the partnership, closing, dissolution of partnership. So if the business property is not enough at the time of dissolution, they have to use their personal property. Sole proprietorship also same. If the single owner is there and he is having more debts, and he sold all his business properties, even then he is unable to pay off all the debts, then from where he will pay? From his personal property he has to uh, pay all the creditors. So that issue is there. So okay, so that is called what? Unlimited liability. In partnership also same. If partnership business property is not enough to cover the loss or the payments to outsiders, then he has to, or the partners has to bring from their personal property. Okay, so company form of business is formed to do away with the limitations of sole proprietorship and partnership. So actually we can say some limitations are there for sole proprietorship and partnership. So to overcome those limitations, that is why the importance of company arise. Okay, now company, what is company, we'll see definition. This we studied last year. Even then, just to remind you, I'm telling. Okay, so a company is an artificial person created by law, having separate entity with a perpetual succession and a common seal. Okay, so company is an artificial person, we know. So company we create like an artificial person. It is who created law. Through law it is created, so law only can end it. Having separate entity, so company, whoever the owners, whoever may be the members, employees, no problem, but separate entity, it stands separately. Okay, so if the owners are not there, if shareholders are going, new shareholders are coming, no problem for the company, it will not affect the company. Understood? Perpetual succession means it will stand forever and ever, it will continue its business forever and ever. Any member can come, any member can go out of the business, no problem, but the company business will continue forever. And a common seal, so this common seal, what this is the signature of the company. Okay, so like we have a signature, this common seal is the signature of the company. So wherever company's papers are there, this seal should be there. Okay, so this is the definition. Now we'll see characteristics from the definition. This also we studied last year. Separate legal entity, then perpetual succession, limited liability, common seal, transferability of shares. So here the owners are shareholders, so that and all we discussed last year. Company's capital, money is invested by the shareholders, though who are spread all over the country. Okay, and they can invest their money at any time. If they don't want, they can sell it at any time. Okay, so transferability of shares. Then separation of management from ownership. Here in sole proprietorship and partnership, uh, if owners are not there, business will finish, or owners and business is all together, even though we prepare the accounts and all separate only, but if sole trader is not there, then business not there. If partners are not there, then partnership business also will not be there. But in company case, if the owners are not there, also company will exist. Separation of management from ownership. So owners is separate and management of the company is separate. It is not compulsory that all the owners has to manage the company. In company, who will manage? The board of directors, who are elected by the shareholders. Okay, I think you remember all those things we studied last year. If you have any doubt, you can read the textbook of last year, formation of a company chapter. Okay, then now we'll discuss today, mainly we discuss this portion, kinds of a company. So there are different types of company. So joint stock company, what we are studying. Okay, so this joint stock company actually is what? Private company. Okay, all these are coming under private sector, not private company, private sector. So we can first classify mainly unlimited company, company limited by guarantee, company limited by shares. Okay, then company limited by shares again classified into public company, private company, and one person company. Okay, so first classification, what? Unlimited company, company limited by guarantee, and company limited by shares. Then company limited by shares again classified what? Public company, private company, and a one person company. So let us discuss one by one. First is what? Unlimited company. So unlimited company, what do you mean by unlimited company? Unlimited company means no limit on the liability. So wherever you hear the word limited, unlimited, you have to remember that they are saying about what? Liability of the owners or members. So here no limit on the liability of its members. Okay, so here no limit on the liability of members. So those who are members of the company, liability have no limit. Whatever liability comes, they have to bear. Understood? Then it means when a company suffers a loss and the company's property is not sufficient to pay off its debts, the private property of its members will be used to meet the claims of creditors. So partnership also this problem is there, but in the case of unlimited company, also we can say this problem arise if the company's property is not enough, not sufficient to pay off debts. Okay, then we have to use what members private property say, means अपना खुद का पैसा लेके आना पड़ेगा, not business money, it is own money of the business, of the members. Then risk involved in this company is too high. Okay, here you can see these companies risk will be very high, because if company collapse, then you have to pay off all the debts. For that you can sell the properties of a company, but if the company's property is not sufficient, then you have to bring from your personal property, so that problem is there. Okay, then next is these are found in India even though permitted by the, not found in India. Okay, so this unlimited form of companies are not found in India even though permitted by Companies Act. Companies Act permitting it to start unlimited company, but in India you cannot see this form because of this disadvantage only, what unlimited liability. Okay, next type, company limited by guarantee. So company limited by guarantee means all the members when they take up, or when they are the owners of the company, they say that what their liability is limited to the extent of the guarantee given by them in the event of winding up of the company. Suppose when the company closed down, when they have to like a dissolution, you remember, when we close down our business, we have to pay all our debts from the money we collect from by selling the assets of the company, correct? No, so suppose here I am a member in a company and I am giving guarantee that I will give my liability is 5 lakh. Okay, for 5 lakh guarantee I have given 5 lakh rupees my guaranteed amount. That means now company is going to wind up or liquidation, and I guaranteed how much? 5 lakh. Okay, so this 5 lakh only I will give, whatever may be the loss or the liabilities of a company at the time of liquidation or winding up. There may be 15 lakhs 15 lakhs rupees debts is there, means liability is there, but I will not give 15 lakh or proportionate amount and all. I will give only how much? 5 lakh only, because already I agreed with this is called what? Guaranteed amount. So when a guaranteed amount is agreed by the member for the liability at the time of winding up of the company, that is called what? Company limited by guarantee. Okay, so this problem arises when we shut down the company, when we close the company. Okay, so that time, for when we do formation itself, we have to decide what type of company it is. Company limited by guarantee, or company limited by shares, like that. No, the type of company and the guarantee given by each member also we have to write and keep separately. Understood? Otherwise later problem will come. Next type is company limited by shares. Okay, now company limited by shares means the liability of the members is limited to the extent of the nominal value of shares held by each of them. So how many shares each shareholders or the members are holding, that much liability only they have. That means if a member has already paid the full amount of shares, he will not be liable to the amount, liable to pay the amount. Okay, suppose I tell you I am a holder of 100 shares I have, and 100 shares 10 rupees the share price, one share price. So how much I have to pay to the company? 1000 rupees I have to pay. So till today I paid, company asked me to pay 7 rupees. So I paid how much? 100 into 7, 700 I paid. So this is called what? Paid up capital. This is called up, means what company called from me, asked from me. So this is paid up, what actually the shareholder paid up capital. So these all what? Part of capital. For capital collection only companies issue shares. So what is the unpaid amount here? 3 rupees, correct? No, So my total unpaid is 100 into 3, that is the unpaid amount by me. So that company will ask me, sometimes they will keep it as a reserve and they will call it only at the time of winding up or closing down of the or liquidation of the company. Understood? So this is called company limited by share. Suppose already I have paid all rupees 1000, then they will not ask me because full amount I paid, all 10 rupees I paid. Understood? So if the any portion is uncalled portion is there, then only I am liable for the payment to the company. Okay. Now next is private company. Okay. So this one, company limited by shares, under that only this private company is coming. Okay. Here first this one chart I told you, company limited by shares. So this is again classified into public company, private company, one person company. So first we discuss private company. Okay. So what do you mean by private company? Private company, last year also we studied. Private company means those company which is not a public company. So we can say here, as per this Companies Act, Companies Act which year? The first Companies Act in the year 1956, don't forget. But latest amendments in Companies Act has done in the year 2013. Okay. So 2013 Companies Amendment Act has come and some changes they have made because our economic system is changed all through this year. After 1956, okay, 2013 they changed the Companies Act. So a private company is one by which its articles of association. So private company means, as per section 268 they are saying, restricts the transfer of its share. Private companies are not allowed to issue shares and not allowed to transfer the shares also. Okay, so private companies are not allowed to issue shares and to transfer the shares. Then limits the number of members, now 200. This is the new latest number, remember. Okay, maximum number of members in a private company is 200. So exclusive of past and present employees. So employees are not counted in this. Whether they are past employees or present employees, they will not be counted. So otherwise the maximum number of members are 200. Okay. Then prohibits any invitation to the public to subscribe any securities. So from this restricted transfer of shares means, here we can say they prohibits invitation to the public to subscribe any. They are not, these private companies are not allowed to invite the public to subscribe the shares. So these are the things in the articles of association. It is provided how or what is a private company. Restricts the issue of shares, then limit the number of members to 200, then prohibits invitation to the public to subscribe any securities. Okay. Now next one is public company. So what do you mean by public company? As per section 271 of the Companies Act, 271 of the Companies Act 2013, public company means a company which is not a private company. So we can say simply public company is a company which is not a private company. Okay. So public company means, we can say, preparation of, in public company, preparation of articles of association is not compulsory. Okay. So memorandum association, articles of association, these are the two main documents we have to prepare. You remember, I think memorandum association explains the company, relation between the company and the outside world. Okay. But articles of association explains the internal management of the company, how the company has to work. So all the internal rules, regulations and all that we have to write and keep in the articles of association. But for a public company it is not compulsory to prepare articles of association. Instead they can follow what? Table F. Table F means this is like just like a artificial articles of association, already made one. Okay. Table F schedule, table F of schedule I. given in Companies Act 2030 shall apply. So if the articles of association is not there, not prepared by a public company, they can follow which one? They can follow table F, schedule I. Table F and of schedule I given in the Companies Act. Okay. Now minimum directors in a public company is 3. 3 members are there. Minimum members 3. Then they have to have a statutory meeting within 6 months of its getting the certificate of commencement of business. Means certificate of commencement of business they got, and after that within 6 months they have to hold a meeting, statutory meeting. Only the word limited is used at the end of its name. Okay, so public company means only Ltd will be there. Nestle Limited, you know, so that is a public company. But private company means what we write? Private limited. Understood? Okay, so public companies are allowed to issue shares to the public. Their capital is mainly coming from shareholders. Understood? So shareholders means equity shares, preference shares we studied. So equity shareholders are the owners of the company. So the capital collection is from the shares subscribed by the public. But private companies are not allowed to issue shares to the public. Private company, the people, those who are starting that company, they only have to bring the money from their own, or they can ask their friends, relatives and all, but they are not allowed to ask money from the public. Means they are not allowed to issue shares to the public. Share means what? The owner's proportion of how much proportion you want to. Suppose a company is having 50,000 rupees. If they want 5 lakh rupees, they can decide their one share price is 10 rupees. Okay, so how much shares they will issue? 50,000. This only share. So 5 lakh is the total amount of capital required. So the capital is divided. So one share is 10 rupees. Suppose I want to become a shareholder of one share, I have to pay just 10 rupees. That is the main advantage in shares. The face value is very less. Okay, so 50,000 shares company issue. So from this 50,000, if I want, I can apply 4,000 shares. So 1,000 into 10, how much I have to pay? 10,000 I have to pay to the company. This 10,000 also company will not ask you in lump sum amount. You can give it installment wise. Okay, so that is the advantage in a public company. Now this category of company, it is a new thing. This is a new type of company under the Companies Act 2030. What it is? One person company, or we call it as OPC, one person company. So it means a private company with only one person as its member. Section 2 subsection 2 62. So only one person will be the member of this company. Understood? So that type also means if a single owner, if a single person wants to start a company, uh, previously it was not allowed, because only sole proprietorship you can start. Now if you have money, sufficient money and all, and you want to start company, then you can have that type of company, that is called what? One person company. So just to discuss the rules applicable in on OPC. Okay, so members of OPC, only a natural person who is an Indian citizen and a resident of India. Okay, so who can start a company? Only those people, those who are a resident of India. Understood? So natural person who is an Indian citizen. So those who wants to OPC, he should be a resident and he should be Indian citizen also. So resident means what? A person who has stayed in India for a period of not less than 182 days immediately preceding the one calendar year. So last calendar year when you take, last year when you take, in that calendar year he has to stay in India for how many days? 182 days. Then we consider that person as resident. Okay, so it should be an Indian citizen and a resident also. Then one person can form only one OPC. So one person, suppose I want to start an OPC, then I can start only one OPC. I am not allowed to start so many OPCs. Understood? So only one OPC I can start. Then its a paid up share capital should not exceed rupees 50 lakhs. So paid up share capital means the paid up money paid by the public, that should not be called and paid is different. Company may be asking called 60 but paid only 50. Okay, so that is less also. So paid up capital should not exceed 50 lakh. If it is crossing 50 lakh, then it is not considered as what one person company. Then average annual turnover means sales of 3 years should not be rupees 50 lakh. So average last 3 years average sales, if you take total sales divided by number of years 3, then it should not exceed 50 lakhs. If it is going above 50 lakhs, then they are not allowed to start an OPC. Means normal company only you can start, public or private. Only one person is not allowed. So it can be formed only for business purpose. Yeah, that is also there. It is formed only for business purpose, not for any charitable purpose. So charitable purpose you are not allowed to start an OPC. Then an OPC can be converted into public company or private company after 2 years of completion of 2 years of completion. Okay, so that is repeated. So one OPC can be convert itself to a public company or a private company unless a period of 2 years has expired from the date of incorporation. So after incorporation, after 2 years, after 2 years they can convert, if they want they can convert the company into public company or private company. Company after this you don't write, after completion of 2 years. Okay, when paid up capital increase beyond 50 lakhs. So here we told, no, paid up capital, the money paid by the public, that is called paid up capital. When it is exceed 50 lakhs or the average annual turnover relevant period exceed 2 crore. So turnover exceeded 2 crore, or this is what paid up capital increased above 50 lakhs, it is crossed 50 lakhs, then automatically this company OPC can be, or OPC will be converted into public company or private company. That automatically will happen when it exceed this limit. Okay, turnover 2 crore exceed हो गया और paid up capital exceeds 50 lakhs, then automatically the one person company will be converted into public company or private company. Okay, otherwise if they want to convert after incorporation 2 years they have to wait. Means after 2 years of incorporation they can think about the conversion into public company or private company. Okay, okay, so this much only. So these are the introduction part. So next day we will continue with the remaining portions. Okay, okay, thank you so much. Understand it? Any doubt you can ask. Okay, take care. Bye.